One of the virtues that theologians value is hope. Thus, it is not a kind of escapism or wishful thinking, as some modern people imagine, but rather one of the things that Christians are expected to do, to continually look forward to the eternal kingdom. It doesn't imply we should abandon the world as we know it. If you look at history, you'll see that the Christians who had the greatest impact on the world as it is today were also the ones who had the greatest impact on the world to come. This includes the apostles who converted the Roman Empire, the great men who built the Middle Ages, and the English evangelicals who ended the slave trade. Everyone made an impression on earth because they were preoccupied with heaven. Christians have become so ineffectual because they have mostly stopped considering the heavenly realm. If you shoot for the stars, you'll hit earth as well. Focus on the ground, and you won't receive either. Although it appears to be an irrational rule, its likeness is evident in other contexts. Having good health is a blessing, but if you let it consume you to the point that you start to worry about it excessively, you'll start to act like a crocodile. Prioritizing other things, such as food, games, work, enjoyment, and fresh air, increases the likelihood that you will achieve health. We will also fail to rescue civilization, so long as it remains our primary goal. Something else, even more, must become our desire. Heaven isn't something most of us desire, unless going there means reuniting with loved ones who have passed on. This is a problem in part because we haven't been prepared. Schooling has a habit of focusing us on the real world. The fact that we fail to acknowledge our true desire for heaven is another factor. A lot of people want, and want badly, something that isn't available in this world. If they had mastered self-awareness, they would realize this. All around you, you'll find items that claim to provide it, but they never really deliver. No amount of marriage, travel, or education can ever fulfill the yearnings that emerge in us when we first experience love, when we first consider a distant nation, or when we first dive headfirst into a topic that intrigues us. What I'm about to describe are the most ideal instances of what are typically referred to as failed marriages, vacations, or educated professions. Something we clung to in that initial ache of desire simply vanishes in the face of reality. I believe everyone understands what I'm saying. Even though the wife is wonderful, the hotels and landscape were breathtaking, and the work with chemistry was fascinating, we still haven't figured it out. Now, you can handle this spar in one of three incorrect ways. Placing blame on the things one encounters is the path of the stupid. His entire life, he keeps telling himself that he would finally catch that enigmatic something if he would just try another woman or take a more extravagant vacation. This kind of wealthy person predominates among the world's bored and unhappy elite. Their entire lives are consumed by hopping from one lady to another, navigating the maze of divorce proceedings, traveling the world, and trying out new hobbies, all the while hoping for the latest and greatest, only to be let down time and time again. Disillusioned, rational men quickly come to the conclusion that it was all just a mirage. He states that it's normal to feel that way while you're young, but that by the time you're my age, you've probably already given up on finding the end of the rainbow. Accordingly, he calms himself, realizes he shouldn't have high expectations, and stifles the old him that cried for the moon in the past. An obvious improvement over the previous method. This one makes men happier and less of a burden on society. Because of this, he becomes a prig and often acts superior to what he refers to as adolescence. Still, he gets along quite well most of the time. If humans did not have an infinite lifespan, it would be the optimal course of action. But suppose boundless delight is indeed waiting for us, if it is possible to reach the end of the rainbow. Then it would be unfortunate to discover after death that we'd suppressed our capacity to appreciate it because of our so-called common sense. The Christian perspective. According to Christians, animals do not have desires unless they can be satisfied. There is nourishment for a newborn that feels hungry. The existence of water satisfies a duckling's need to swim. Sure, there's sex, and men have sexual desire. I was probably meant for another planet if I ever have a longing that nothing this world has to offer will fulfill. The fact that nothing I can buy here on Earth can make me doubt the reality of the cosmos. It seems likely that earthly pleasures were never intended to fulfill it, but rather to stimulate it and hint to what lies beyond. If that's the case, I need to be careful not to hate or be grateful for these material possessions. But I also don't want to confuse them for something else, because in reality, they're just a reflection or illusion. The longing for my rightful homeland, which I will not discover until after I die, must remain dormant within me. I can't allow it to be buried or ignored. My life's work should be to continue on to that other nation and to assist others in doing the same. False believers who claim they would rather not spend all eternity playing the harp should not cause Christians any concern. Someone should not speak about novels created for adults if they are unable to comprehend them. The biblical imagery, with its harps, crowns, riches, etc., is obviously all a symbolic attempt to convey the indescribable. Music is the one thing that many people, though certainly not all, know about this world that most clearly implies bliss and eternity, which is why musical instruments are brought up. Those who are joined with God in eternity share his brilliance, power, and delight, and the mention of crowns suggests this fire. Bringing up the fact that gold is precious and does not corrode is a way to convey the idea that heaven is eternal. For those who take these symbols at face value, it's as if Christ had said to be like doves in order to lay eggs. If this video awakened your spirit or brought you a moment of peace, we invite you to express that with a like. Your support creates waves of inspiration that can reach far and wide. Don't miss out on future blessings. Subscribe to our channel for more messages that uplift and encourage. Together, let's dive deeper into God's Word and bask in His love and grace.